Greetings and welcome to day 15 of the Essential Series. This is Dr. Q English, John the 5th chapter, verses 2 through 9. Now in Jerusalem by the sheep gate there is a pool called in Hebrew Bethzatha, which has 5 porticos. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed, waiting for the moving of waters. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. And while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat, and walk." At once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk. Now that day was a Sabbath. I find it quite interesting that the author notes that the day the particular healing took place was on a Sabbath. Although the Jews in Galilee were known not to be as strict as those in Jerusalem, when it came to the honoring of the Sabbath, it is still not without significance in that while it was not in violation of the law to heal, but it was indeed in violation of scribed regulations. In the traditions of the elders, they distinguished 39 categorized works which might not be undertaken in the Sabbath. The 39th of these was the carrying of a load from one dwelling to another is not permitted. And Jesus defied this by saying, "Take up your mat and walk." So Jesus could have told him, "Arise and walk," which still would have stirred folks. But instead he says, "Arise, take up your mat and walk." It was intentional. The revolutionary Jesus was on the scene, creating his first hostile response in the book of John. Man was not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath for man. Jesus was not afraid to speak and demonstrate truth to powers. At this pool, you find men and women waiting their turn, for which only one can go, as the other would just watch day after day, month after month, year after year, wondering if the next time will be their turn. The question I have for you, my listeners today, is what exactly are you waiting for? Jesus asked him, "Do you want to get well?" My mind was trying to figure out whether he was scolding him or encouraging him. I guess it would come down to what words were being emphasized in that verse when he spoke that sentence. Was the emphasis on the word want or the words get well? If you emphasize the word want, it would sound like this: "Do you want to get well?" This would appear as a scolding to say that after 38 years, you're still in this same condition. I doubt whether you really want to be well. After 38 years, you didn't have enough get up in you to get to where the waters were so that you could be healed. It's right there in front of you and you can't even get to it. 38 years, really? How desperate are you to be healed? Or perhaps the emphasis was on the words, "get well," which would sound like, "Do you want to get well?" Which means if you want it, I can help you, because I am the great physician. I am Jehovah Rapha, the God that heals. I am all that you need me to be in this moment. I see that you've been here for 38 years, and my bowels of compassion are open up to you. Do you want to get well? So we're at a dilemma to really understand what Jesus was saying. Perhaps it is both. Perhaps the excuse that he gave was a valid one, as all the others around him were experiencing the same thing. He didn't have family to help him get in the waters. He didn't have someone that cared enough to see him healed all those 38 years. And Jesus thus responded, "You don't need the waters to heal you. What you're searching for is right in front of you." As you read from the text, Jesus did not point him to the pool to get well. He didn't need the waters to stir for the man to get well, for this invalid was standing in front of the person who could cause living waters to spring up on the inside of him, the one that could bring him life, one who could change his life with just one word. He didn't need for an angel to be present, for who stood before him was greater than angels. So what exactly are you waiting for? Stop waiting for things to line up before you move. Stop waiting for people to act right before you do what God has commanded you to do. Stop waiting for the conditions to be favorable before you move. Stop waiting for man's approval before you obey God. No more excuses. And I know you've been knocked down at, but you're still here. I know you've been counted out, but you're still here. You thought the last blow was going to knock you out, but you're still here. Get up and walk into your destiny. It doesn't matter to me that your response was not one of faith when I asked the question. It's just important to have faith when I give the command. Arise, take up your mat, and walk. The waiting is over.
You have been listening to Dr. Q English. Follow her on social media at Facebook at Q English and on Instagram at Q English. Continue to listen to our daily series.